You see my face? I'm disappointed. Two things going on I'm disappointed in NBA style. Coming at you with a video BDF. I'm just... So, first of all, I'll just get to the game. I just got through watching Game 5, or the last 3 minutes of Game 5. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was out running around. I just got home in time to see the last 3 minutes of the game, but I think that was enough to see. Because that was when the Toronto Raptors decided to give the game back to the Warriors. And I'm no Warriors fan. I'm no Raptors fan. I'm a Laker fan. I think everybody who's watched any of my videos knows how I feel about my squad. So there's no shared allegiances or anything like that. I'm a Laker fan for sure. But I'm really going for the Raptors to win this series, and I made a video about why I'm going for Kawhi Leonard. But at the same time, all things considered, looking at how this series is going for the Warriors, if you just remove everything you know about the Warriors and you're just looking at two teams, clearly the Warriors are the underdog. Clearly the Warriors have given you everything to root for. Disappointing the Raptors, first of all. I just want to talk about that before we get to what's bothering me. But disappointing the Raptors that they're playing with the Warriors. You don't play around with the Warriors, and what I mean by that is it's a 6-point lead, 3 minutes to go. You're in your own building, got a chance to win the entire thing. And you're forcing turnaround jumpers, Kawhi? Like, why are you forcing shots? I would rather you run the shot clock out than force shots. And it's just, a lot of people are going to talk about Kyle Lowry's corner three that didn't fall. I don't put that much stock into Kyle Lowry. I understand that he's an all-star. He's a big-time stats guy in terms of giving you a little bit of everything. He can give you a triple-double. He can give you 30 points on a good night. He can give you a bunch of assists on a good night. So it's not a whole lot he can't do when he's feeling it. But from a consistency standpoint, I'm not looking at him like I'm looking at a Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, or any names like that. So when he missed that shot, I wasn't like sitting there dogging him or nothing like that. I just kind of, Kawhi should have been shooting, basically, or Van Fleet or somebody else. I would have preferred someone else be in that position. No harm, no foul off to Game 6. Now, this is what's got me down. And I'm sure it has a lot of people down right now. KD shouldn't have been out there, man. Let's just keep it all the way honest. I've seen Achilles injuries before. I've watched them in slow motion. I've studied Achilles injuries just to see how they look. Just really to see what it looks like when a person's Achilles actually snaps. I watched Kobe's, obviously. I remember when Chris Webber watched his. Oh God, who else was it? Brandon Jennings was the one I really studied. The one I watched the ripple in his calf to see the injury actually take place. I actually watched the ripple effect. So I knew what it was when I saw it today, before anyone even said anything. And there was a little caption on YouTube that said, is this an injury to KD? Was there, and it showed a zoom in on his calf, and you could see the ripple effect. The same thing I saw in Brandon Jennings' leg. And I knew what it was. The Warriors sent him out there, shamed him to dog hell. They really shamed him. And I ain't going to say the Warriors did, but all these analysts and these toxic-ass individuals on these various stations spewing all of their rhetoric about different scenarios that they speak into existence, where it's actually just them putting pressure on people to do things. If you remove the media from situations and just allow professionals to do their jobs without the pressure, I guarantee you will get better results. A lot of this stuff is toxic. So I just feel like it's important for me to say that, even though I watch it and am entertained by it. I also see the negative effects it has on front offices and coaches and different sports. And I can tell you, they are part of the problem a lot of the times, just because they are not sensitive to the pressures that they place upon individuals that they demand excellence from. At some point, we got to start looking at the ESPNs and the Foxes and all these different analysts and start saying, at what part do you become responsible for situations like this? When an organization forces themselves to bring back one of the greatest players we've ever seen to play in a game that he probably, quite honestly, should have never even been considered questionable for. When we know that he's been out for 3 months and they got all this energy plastered all over the networks talking about, oh, he needs to come back, or his teammates are not going to believe in him if he doesn't hurry up and make it known that he wants to come back. You know, they're starting to wonder whether or not he's faking the injury or if he's trying to make a point. He goes out there trying to prove all of that rhetoric false and is going to probably miss the entire season because of it. There are a lot of people to blame. I can blame the Golden State Warriors. I can blame the media. I can even look at Kevin Durant and say, why did you allow yourself to go out there? I can look at his teammates and say, why did y'all pressure him to go out there? Or even to a lesser degree, why didn't you guys encourage him for the betterment of himself, knowing that he has hundreds of millions of dollars probably laying on the line at his free agency? Why would y'all ask him to come out there to save y'all asses? Where's the humanity in that? You see, that was the problem that Kawhi had with San Antonio. And they call it unselfishness because you're doing it for the betterment of the team. No. Everybody's thinking about their goddamn self. And that is why a player is being asked to go out there when we know he's full-fledged injured. Help the team. No, it has to help me. And I happen to be a part of the team, so we all have the same interests. But it's really about me. As the GM, as a coach, as the player, as a whatever, as a media member who wants to see things go a certain way so I have something to talk about. It's all a bunch of selfishness. It's a lack of humanity, and real injuries are the cause of all of it. In my opinion, this is the cause of it. That's why I made the video on Kawhi and spoke the way that I did about how he deserves to win this championship because of San Antonio mismanaging that entire situation. It's because of stuff like this. Second greatest player in the entire league behind LeBron James. And the only reason why I say he's behind LeBron James is because LeBron is still active. That's out of respect. Kevin Durant is playing the best basketball of anybody in the league, not named Kawhi Leonard, obviously, who's ahead of him in the finals right now. This is one of the greatest players we've ever seen. Arguably the most easiest scoring entity that we've seen since Wilt and Shaq. Like, he scores effortlessly. And we may not ever see him play the level of basketball that he needs to play in order to display that again. We may never see that again. We know how Achilles injuries are. They never, ever, ever come back the same. Kobe wasn't the same after the Achilles injury. Brandon Jennings didn't even have a career after the injury. He came back, ran around a little bit, and he was gone, out of the league. I don't think Chris Webber played much after that, if he did at all. I think there was several other athletes from different sports that have gone down with that injury. No one ever comes back the same from that, man. And this was preventable. But Golden State just had to have him come back and save the day. They had to shame the man into thinking that if he didn't come back, then he was going to be considered even more of a snake than he already is with all this bullshit rhetoric about the decision he made to go there in the first place. I was never big on that decision. I probably said some things that catered to that crap too. But now I sit here feeling like a fool just like the rest of y'all should. Kevin Durant earned his stripes as a Warrior tonight. And I'm not a Warrior fan. I don't, But if I felt strongly about that team, you couldn't tell me nothing about that dude no more. That's how I feel about that. No, I don't want to hear another snake, another cupcake, nothing. Because he put himself on the line for your team when it was time for him to make some money. And now it looks like he might get Isaiah Thomas. I'm not with it. And if I'm the New York Knicks, I would encourage y'all to still sign that man to every bit of the money that you was going to pay him. Because he's still Kevin Durant. And if he goes back to Golden State, y'all be lucky if he do. Y'all be lucky if he do. Honestly. Because after this, I don't know if I want to see any of them no more. If I'm KD. So, man, I just wish him a speedy recovery. As you can see, I'm pissed off about this. And I'm not the biggest KD fan. I'm not, you know what I mean? But right is right. And this was some bull right here. This was all wrong. Anyway, that's all I got to say, man. Series 3-2. The Raptors are still ahead. But right now, the way things are going, I'll say this. I didn't see any way for the Warriors to win this series before today. But now that KD went down, they know he's not coming back for sure. The series switches back to Oakland, and you got the Warriors, the leading dynasty of this era, having 2 games away from winning an NBA championship. I don't know. I don't know what Toronto's going to do, but I feel like all the momentum is wearing blue and yellow right now. And that's without KD coming back. I just feel like Steph and Klay are going to light it up. I really do. They're going to go back home and they're going to light it up in Game 6. I'm almost certain of it. So we're probably looking at a Game 7. We'll see. Anyway, you guys, take off. Take off. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Everybody have a great evening. Take care of yourselves. Don't allow anybody to press you into doing something that you know is bad for your body. I guess that's the best thing I could say. If you know it's bad for you, just don't do it. I don't care what's on the line. I don't care who says what. If your future's on the line and you about to throw it all away for right now because other people are pressuring you, 9 out of 10 times it's the wrong decision. Take it from me, watching KD. Anyway, take off, whatever that means. Peace out, y'all.